Hey everybody, before we get to our preview of Edge, the Rated R Superstar, let's have a look at my roster. As you can see, 4-star Silver Edge and 4-star Silver Kurt Angle are on my roster. This is temporary. The kind folks at Scopely have allowed me and some other YouTube content creators for WWE Champions videos to have access to these two superstars to use with our own trainers, the move sets we choose, in matches of our choosing, in order to test them and then to record, produce, edit, and publish videos for the WWE Champions community to see for these superstars that are featured in this month's event. Once these videos have been produced and are online, these characters will be removed from all of our accounts and they will go back to the way they were before, as if they were never there. So now that that's cleared up, let's move on to our preview of Edge, the Rated R Superstar. So let's have a look at this brand new trickster from the Ruthless Aggression era. I have to say the designers did an excellent job. He looks great. Love the Rated R Superstar logo. His animation looks really, really cool. He also has a gear. He comes with a special gear. And not only does it look fantastic, but it adds 4 purple gems to moves that generate purples. That is huge for this character. It takes him from the good category to the very good category. You're not going to see it in action here, but just imagine every time we see a move that generates purples, 4 more purples being added if you had the gear. So if you're going for Edge this month, do your best to try and get the gear as well, because that's a game changer for him. We're going to be seeing a couple of variations of these same 4 moves over the next few minutes. It's always going to be his 2 black moves, and we're going to see those 2 blacks in combination with his 2 purple moves, one of which is the spear finisher, another of which is a 1-charge move. So we're going to see both of those variants. He comes with a couple of green moves, and one of the green moves generates columns of freeze gems. As you can see, I've given this build a try. I've tried and tried. I've used HPs. I can't get it to do what I need it to do. Perhaps there are more skilled game players than me who, whether you've used Zombie, Sasha Banks, or Charlotte, who have these freeze gems and you're an experienced freeze gem player, I am not. I couldn't get them to do what I needed them to do, so you will not see those moves involved in this video. Some of the other YouTube content creators are releasing videos at the same time as this one. Check them out. Their links are in the description, and see if they've got the freeze gem moves in play in their videos. You won't see them here. What you will see here are setups that feature Bray Wyatt as an MP trainer. I think he's crucial because we need to get to that submission first. The submission sets up the rest of the gameplay for Edge, and it's important that we get there first. So it's always going to be Bray Wyatt, and we're going to see him with a combination of other trainers. The first one we're going to start with is Daniel Bryan. He creates more purple gems. So the first build we're going to see is Bray Wyatt and Daniel Bryan. So Daniel Bryan's the second trainer we've chosen for this build. And I'll get to why it looks better on paper than it actually is as we watch this build. So we're looking for black off the bat because we want that submission loaded. There's the trainers we just went through. So this submission, the educator, it turns 17 gems into submission gems. And then if they're not broken, they turn into leech gems. So you can see we're going to have a third of the board covered in submission gems here. A lot of them are going to get broken. It's just the nature of having a third of the board covered with gems. But you want a few of them to survive, because this other black move turns those leech gems into purples, which are going to fill our submission. Now you'll see what these leech gems do. Consider them like heal gems, but that also do damage. So they do the damage that are caused by the color of gem that they're on. So if they're purple, Edge's highest value gems, they do that amount of damage to your opponent, but they do a specific amount of heal to yourself as well when they get broken. It's about 3,800 per gem that you get healed. So it's a doing damage but self-healing at the same time. So that's why we want our submission to survive with as many gems on the board as we can. So here we go again with 17 more submission gems, which will turn into these heal leech gems. The damage and heal combination. You saw our purple move when we ran it was a choose to destroy, so you can destroy 4 gems with that. So there's some more damage to Kevin Nash, healing us at the same time. And our finisher is loaded again, which is a choose to destroy. So I mentioned about Daniel Bryan and why he may not be necessary here is because you're probably never getting 12 of those submission gems to survive. So just choosing the 8 is probably enough. As we finish off Kevin Nash there with near full health because of those leech gems. So Daniel Bryan, not necessary. Let's try to buff this submission. So striker, Steve Austin. So that submission is going to be doing over 10,000 HP of damage on every turn on that 4-turn submission. Still keeping Bray because we want to get that submission out right away. We took the wild card thinking we weren't going to cause a pin, and it did, but luckily we got enough black gems so that our sub is going to be ready turn 2 the way we want it. You'll notice Randy Orton starting this match with about 350,000 health. So there go our 17 sub gems, and they're now doing over 10,000 per turn. 11,283. So that was 44k damage right there. We've got these leech gems left on the board. Now we're going to change these leech gems into purple to load our spear. Match those purples. We killed 3 or 4 of those leech gems, dealing damage to Randy and healing ourselves. So he's down over 100k health already, and we're still about what we started with. Now our choose to destroy. Well, we're going to do a submission again first, because we want to use that choose to destroy to fill. So I was mentioning about Daniel Bryan, about not needing to change as many gems into purple. That's where the gear would come in handy, because then you don't need to use Daniel Bryan. I don't think you need to use him anyway, because I think you're never having that many gems to turn into purples. So that's why we've chosen striker Steve Austin here. The other option you can choose, and I'm not showing it to you because I don't have him, is either Bradshaw or Jimmy Uso, who have purple moves that destroy gems, destroy more gems. So instead of choosing 4 to destroy to refill your submission, you'd be choosing more. That's going to make the recycle so much greater if you had Jimmy Uso. I think a couple of the other guys, Gerson and Big Papa Brian, who are also releasing videos, both have Jimmy Uso, so you'll be able to see that build on their channels. Check the links in the description to go and see those videos as well. So Randy's going to get a couple of his special moves off on us here, but we're still up only about 20 or 30,000 less than we started with. And Randy's already down over 250,000 in health. He's only got about 100k left. because of these leech gems that are doing two things at a time, dealing damage to him and healing ourselves. We take the wild card before we turn these leech gems into purples, reloading our finisher again. One thing to note as we watch this and as we're learning about this character, these are not short matches. Doing this damage, the leeching at a time, takes some time. Not a huge hitter. So let's try one more variation here. We're going to keep Bray Wyatt and Steve Austin, but we swapped out our finisher, the purple spear, for a one charge purple move that adds leech gems to the board. You're adding these on every turn. So you're adding 6 leech gems on the board on every turn. So it's one thing you got to remember, to hit that purple move every time to get those leech gems constantly out there. They don't do anything when your opponent breaks them. They do damage when you break them. So now the submission. 17 sub gems on the board, hopefully a lot of them surviving. So now, because of this one charge move that just litters the board with these leech gems, this is an instance where either the gear or Daniel Bryan would work, because there are going to be 12 gems likely on the board at a time to change to purple. The other trainer possibility you can use on here is Seth Rollins, Trickster Seth Rollins, tough, because he adds green gem damage. So you'd be, sorry, not green gem, purple gem damage. So he would be doing more damage to your opponent as you're getting healed. So there's a wide variety of trainer possibilities here. I think the gear is going to be available, whether it's in a vault or whether it's in bags or something in this month event, the Team Extreme event. The gear is going to make Edge that much better. There's just no way around it. 4 extra purple gems, so you could have your Seth Rollins doing extra damage. You could have Striker Austin doing the extra sub damage and not worry about not having enough purple gems to generate, because the gear will do it for you. If you don't get the gear, Daniel Bryan, like I said, is an option when you're using this build with so many leech gems on the board. But this just gives you an idea, again, of look at the health bars up at top. Edge has lost none to nearly none health. What a sentence that was, none to nearly none. I don't know who learned me how to spoke today, but bear with me. We're not losing any health. Randy's losing a lot. It's not fast, again. Not sure this build makes it into your feud lineup, because it takes a while. But if you're talking about Showdown, or you're talking about blitzing, or you're talking about doing some really hard matches on the road, or in limited time tours where you've got to beat a really high health, dangerous opponent to try and get 3 stars, or to just try and beat the match, this is an effective yet lengthy way to go about it. Because there's no denying Randy Orton is getting drained and drained and drained, and Edge is taking no damage because just constantly getting healed by these leech gems. I imagine sometime soon we'll be seeing leech gem trainer abilities hit the game, whether that's with an existing superstar getting a dual training ability at a higher level, 7.5k or 9k, having whether it's moves that generate leech gems generate more, or leech gems do 50% more healing. I would imagine those are going to come into the game at some point, assuming that Edge isn't going to be the only character that runs these gems. So Randy Orton is drained. This sub is going to finish him off. That was 350k health from Showboat Randy Orton. Total damage to Edge, 0. No HPs used in a victory for the Rated R Superstar. So again, look at the top right corner of my screen. This footage is for character preview purposes only. This character was on my roster when I made this video. He is no longer going to be on my roster when we're done making these preview footage of Edge and Kurt Angle. Myself and a bunch of other YouTube content creators that you know are making these videos for you. I hope you enjoy them. I hope you like these characters, and I hope you're enjoying the Team Extreme month on WWE Champions.